have a sharing entire, industry. That why would you prefer that, right? Because your hygiene is the utmost of importance. You're not going to compromise on that, even if that means splurging a little.
So I'll just butt in again. The debate has already started. Yeah. So yeah, we have been again rejoined by the third panelist, Shri Vikram Singh. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I hope I'm audible to you.
Yes, it's quite audible, loud and clear.
Thank you. So without much further ado, we have stock 6. So Major Saab, I would request Major Mayank Mathur to set the ball rolling and gradually start the session. Before anything, I would really like to express my heartfelt regards to IIM-Ahmedabad Alumni Association and Indian Society of Training and Development, because they both have put together this interesting series and we are streaming live across the globe, parallelly running sessions in India and Mexico right now. So yeah, without much further ado, Major Saab, off to you.
Thank you, Dr. Sheetal. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Major Mayank Mathur from IIM-Ahmedabad, Baroda chapter, the Alumni chapter here. I wholeheartedly welcome the panelists today, Mr. Kunwar Vikram Singh ji, Mr. Sridhar, and Ms. Rumi. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for plugging in. Thanks for being there. And yes, we ought to have a very interesting session at the moment today. So back to you, Dr. Sheetal, and thanks for moderating for us.
Thank you, sir. I would request Ramkesh Meena to please start off the session. Mr. Ramkesh Meena, am I audible to you? I think the perils of technology. Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Meena, hi. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, very good evening. Good evening. Yeah, dear esteemed panelists, guests, ISTD office bearers and members. A very good evening to all of you. On behalf of ISTD Vadodara chapter, as Honorary Secretary, I Ramkesh Meena extend my heartiest welcome to all of you in this sharing and learning series. Just to offer you a bit about the ISTD, like ISTD as India's largest professional body, professional as well as non-profit body for the trainers in the field of training and NND, having a large membership base of individuals, corporates, institutes, and diverse professionals since 1970, with even international affiliation with IFTDO and ARTDO. So with this, ISTD organized many training programs, competitions, etc. at chapter level as well as national level. So in the same series right now, ISTD Vadodara chapter is organizing two type of series. We can say one is training marathons for the trainers, and second is this panel discussion in the series of Bright Minds. So today we will be having second session on this Bright Minds series. So with this, without taking much time, let me invite our chapter chairman, Shri Dilip Desai sir, for a quick welcome now. Dilip Desai sir, please. Over to you.
Thank you, Ramkesh ji.
Thank you, sir.
Most of the IIMA members must be knowing that this is the second lecture we are organizing jointly with IIM Ahmedabad. First was organized 15 days before on acclimatizing resilience to evolve. And today we are organizing it on Bright Minds. So ISTD Baroda chapter and IIM Ahmedabad, they are collaborating on the various occasions. And between two of us, there is a very good bridge called Sheetal Nair and also Mr. Arvind Khode. These two pillars, they are the real pillars on either side, and they are working as a bridge between the two. ISTD is organizing webinars quite frequently, on an average once in a week. And initially we started with 5 session series by Dr. Nair himself. After that, we organized program by Swapna Bandyopadhyay on Corona Warriors, because he being the DGM of Bank of Baroda, how the Bank of Baroda is working in this Corona era. Another lecture was organized by Nimita Gopal. She was the former CSR head of Larsen & Toubro. And then by Nilakshi Chattopadhyay, on online etiquette. Recently, we also organized one session on future managers, how they should behave, and it was by Kunwar, one of our regional vice president. And today, at the same time, there is an international seminar going on by Delhi office that is on 10 commandments. At the same time, one session is going on by Chennai chapter, one session by Bengal chapter. So like that, ISTD is organizing quite a good number of seminars. And on this occasion, I would request IIM-Ahmedabad to use the bridge which is between the two, and all the members to join ISTD. We can invite you to be a part of ISTD. Unfortunately, we cannot be a part of IIM-Ahmedabad. But our invitation is open to all, and that will strengthen both the bodies. And on this occasion, I thank you all, and we are very eager to listen to this session. And I hand over and I request Mr. Sheetal to take over. Thank you, Sheetal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was very interesting terminology being used there. ISTD be a part of IIM and IIM be a part of ISTD. So without much further ado, before I start with the session, let me just take you through the brief intro of the session. You have gone through a lot of webinars regarding what is going to happen in Corona, how the industries are suffering in Corona, and that got us to this position where we thought that why not we understand what exactly is happening in the industry. How like a caterpillar metamorphosizes into a butterfly has the industry undergone this metamorphosis. And today we have three diverse industries. Technically we were supposed to have four, but then in the era of virtual things, we have a virtual US FDA audit happening at one of the sites. And for the first time, I think in the history, there is a US FDA audit being conducted virtually. Now, we have three industries today. One of that is automobile being represented by Mr. Sridhar Ramachandran, one FMCG, social media and brand marketing being represented by Rumi ma'am. But the most interesting session is the essential services sector. And hereby we have the pillar of the essential service sector, private security sector, Shri Vikram Singh. Without much further ado, let me just share with you a brief introduction of Kunwar Saab. He's an extraordinarily illuminated person. Kunwar Vikram Singh is the chairman of Central Association of Private Security Industry, an apex body of private security sector. So you call private security sector and it can be identified by Kunwar Saab. He is also the chairman of Lancers Network Limited, a risk consulting corporation. He has held the coveted post of president and chairman of World Association of Detectives. He was the advisor, internal security to the Prime Minister of India in 1991. He is the author of World Encyclopedia of Security Science and Management. He is also the director of Punjab Police Security Corporation Limited, a venture of the government of Punjab. He is a member of the United Nations Standing Committee on Civilian Private Security, Role in Crime Prevention and Community Safety. He was sent as an official delegate to represent the Government of India at the 21st and 22nd United Nations Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice. He has recently been appointed as President of Public Police Trust by the Board of Trustees, whose chairman is Justice K.G. Balakrishnan, former Chief Justice of India. Kunwar Vikram Singh was awarded the Investigator of the Year 2006 by the WAD at Tokyo, Japan. He was declared the Best Investigator of the Year in 2007. He was awarded the Bharat Suraksha Ratna Award by APSA at the Global Security Conference in 2009, and he was awarded this by the President of India. Kunwar Saab has been bestowed with the Lifetime Achievement Award in Intelligence and Investigation by Shri Shivraj Patil, Honorable Home Minister of India at Bangalore in 2008. The best part about all this is there is a book which has been written by Mr. Tankin Hall. He wrote a bestseller known as The Case of a Missing Servant, based on a case which has been solved by Kunwar Vikram Singh. This novel has been published by Random House London, and I just checked about it. It's still available on Amazon. I mean, to have such an amazing personality, a luminary in fact, who has experience of eons, and technically he's identified as the security man, as the private security sector man. To have him here today is an honor, and I have had the honor of working under him for a year. So without much further ado, I would request Kunwar Saab to please grace us with his opinions about the industry, about how essential services is managing the Corona crisis. Kunwar sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sheetal. It's a great pleasure, first, that you invited me to be with these very talented people, and it is, in fact, it's a great honor. As far as the, can you hear me? Yeah. As far as,
हाँ सर, वो हो चुका है.
hello.
जी जी.
Audible, sir. Kunwar sir, audible. You're audible.
Okay. Now, as far as the private security industry, like Sheetal has already said, that we are a very large organization. We have about 9 million private security guard working in India, 9 million, which is the largest private security force in the world. We are much more than the Army, Navy, Air Force, Police put together. And we have around about 23,000 companies operating all over India, and we're working under the Private Security Agency Regulation Act. Is regulatory. You got to have a license to run the private security industry. Now, this is a very large one and often been called as an unorganized body, where we are not organized now anymore. Ever since the government of India has declared private security as an essential service to deal with this corona COVID-19 situation, this came as a very big surprise to all of us, because the whole nation was shut down. When the nation was shut down, the industry was shut down, everything was shut down. And one night we got a message that you are going to work and going to protect the entire industry. It was like the old sayings, चौकीदार होते थे, बोलते थे, जागते रहो. So the Prime Minister said, okay, आप मेरे चौकीदार हो, आपको जागना पड़ेगा इस condition में भी. So under those circumstances, all of a sudden you got a responsibility to behave very maturely, like a well-organized organization, and to carry out the task which is just given to us. No, protecting establishment, people, communities by a force is understandable. When you have a regular police force, CRPF or BSF or any police force or any state police force, you are well-structured organization, and they carry out the orders of the government of India or the state government. Here we were not that way structured, but once the responsibility given, immediately we have around about 23 chapters operating all over the country. And we called meeting of all the leaders immediately, and we discussed how to deal with this situation. And then the Minister of State Home Affairs, Mr. G. Krishna Reddy, was kind enough to accept our invitation to speak to us what kind of thing you expect from us during the lockdown period. He addressed, I think he was the first minister who addressed a video conference with all the security managing directors, leaders all over. And he defined our roles very well. We look, this is what is expected. You better brace up and start organizing your boys for this. And the same time when this was being discussed, the huge rush of people, of the migrant security guard and other people started leaving Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, Chennai, Bangalore. And this came as such a big surprise to us. When people, I must tell you that around about 60% people, those who are working as a security guard or security supervisor, they come from the catchment state like Bihar, UP, your northeast area, East area, and from Odisha also. The huge number of people came. So with the migrant people started leaving, this became a very big challenge to retain them in such condition where you have to protect the establishment and also to provide security to the communities. In all over, we became the virtually frontline warriors. That you got to have somebody in front of the hospital, you got to have somebody in front of the communities and localities and the business establishment. When the business establishment was shut down, everybody left. So with a very well-structured approach by our own leaders, we managed to retain the maximum number of private security guards. Those are working in a very large corporation, very big organization. They managed to understand their retention within the factory premises is very important, because the movement was not allowed. There was a confusion at the time that nobody can go out. And once we said we belong to the essential services, the policeman at the ground will not understand. We show all the document issued by the Home Secretary also with the nothing doing. I must get my order from the DM. Now, those are the challenges that you have to protect your people also. You have to protect the establishment also. And the police is not allowing your people to go to the place of duty. So under those sequences, it was a wonderful coordination with the Ministry of Home Affairs. We have a very nice, additional secretary, Mr. Vivek Bharadwaj, and other officials also, that we managed to get the message conveyed to all the DGPs, controlling authority. They managed to get the message through to the SHOs also. Ultimately, we managed to bring some order into the functioning of the private security industry, but it was a huge task. It was a huge task because the challenge that you are a frontline warrior yourself, you have to protect your own men also against corona infection. And those times, even the masks were not available. So you can imagine what kind of situation we went through. But since this industry is by and large being managed by the ex-servicemen, फौजीज लोग हैं, वो जल्दी से सब ने अपना अपना जुगाड़ करके हर ढंग से इसको अच्छे ढंग से बनाने की पूरी कोशिश की हुई है. और आज के दिन में मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि जिस ढंग से this industry which was called unorganized, the way we have behaved and acted in a most mature manner, you will not find such examples. I can narrate so many such stories, which was a great challenge to perform. We lost 2 security guards. Those became the warriors. The CAPC has announced a lakh of rupees for the families also. But even now, there's a day-to-day challenge, and things are getting slightly normal. But the migrants, those who have gone back, they are supposed to come back, and they can't find it proper transportation to come back. But we are organizing. But once again, the whole private security sector has become a great protector of the communities. In gated communities, you will find earlier the people never used to show that kind of respect to the private security guard. No, during this period of lockdown, they realized that they are the people who are protecting us. They not let any vendor come inside. They will not allow. They follow the instruction of the RWA so well. And now the situation when people, simply go and salute a security guard, they pay all the respect to them. The image of the industry and the security guards improved a lot, and we're getting appreciation even from the Prime Minister, even from the Home Minister, from all the end users. Things has become very, very good. But once again, there is a daily challenge. There is daily situation which will have to be taken care of. But my thing is that since we have an overarching role where security is required to be given to IIM also, IST people also, all business people, wherever they are, you need a security. So now this has given us a lot of opportunity to understand, discuss, and get ready for the post-corona situation also. We carried on a survey also, many things. Now, industry is well structured now, very well represented, and we are ready to take any kind of challenge which is required to provide safety and security for companies to live in a good environment. Yes.
Thank you, Kunwar sir. An interesting perspective that you have shared with us. We have already been floated by questions that I should be asking you, but I'll wait. I shall let this discussion continue. I shall now move on to Rumi. Now, before I start off with Rumi ma'am, let me just give you a brief introduction about Rumi ma'am. She is basically the director, brand marketing at the Man Company. Man Company is a company whose products I also use for personal grooming. So yes, I am that sort of an affinity towards her. But just give me a brief introduction about her background. Rumi is basically a postgraduate diploma in marketing from Xavier Institutes of Communication, Mumbai. She has varied experiences working with Mudra Communications. She's worked with Lowell Intas. She's also worked with Manipal. and she was also a deputy manager, marketing and communication with HCL Healthcare. Right now, she's full-time brand marketing director with the Man Company, and she had, I think, a part to play in this very delectable ad of Ayushman Khurrana, which has actually changed the way people look at the grooming industry. Now, we had a very interesting perspective being shared by Kunwar, wherein he spoke about how the perspective towards security has changed because today security has become like a frontline warrior. Now, this question that keeps on dropping into my mind is how is this grooming industry managing this sort of a change? Now, grooming is very important. I was just discussing this with Sridhar. Now, a lot of webinars happening. Personal grooming, I mean, body language cannot be gauged. It's only the face that can be gauged, right? So, how does the personal grooming industry manage this sort of a issue? Over to you, Rumi.
Hi, thanks, Sheetal. Thanks, Sheetal, for that introduction. Now that I am absolutely surrounded by all kind of men that I can see here on my screen, this is the question that you should ask yourself. You tell me, you sport this kind of beard, you sport this kind of hairstyle. There must be a reason why you do that, because it makes you feel good, right? It makes you feel confident. Even though you're not meeting people, but you're meeting like, I think 4 times, 5 times more number of people you're meeting now through webinars, right? So you want to look good. And maybe that's the reason that's behind your summer hairstyle, or the trimming of your beard over here, or the kind of moustache that you're sporting. It's all about feeling good, and that's what the grooming industry does. And finally, men have come to realize that this is as important as it is for women, right? And finally, they have come to realize that there are actually products out there which is made just for me, and it's not like, okay, ab tak ye tha, now for men. And even Colonel Sir, the moustache that he is sporting right now, I mean, look at that. You have got varied kind of look right now, as I can see all you men here on the screen. And this is what grooming industry is all about. You need that moustache oil. You need that beard comb. You need that shampoo. You need those things. And it's high time that you stop, robbing the washroom closet of your mother or of your daughter or of your wife or your partner, sister, or anybody. Just stop it. You need the products of your own, and that's what I think the founder, Hitesh Dhingra, who is the founder of the Man Company, realized 4 years ago, that why should men be left behind? They need grooming products, and it's high time that somebody starts thinking them that, okay, you have your needs as well. Your hair texture, your skin texture, your beard needs are absolutely different from anybody else. And you project your entire being in a certain way because your personality is actually represented through the way you look. Because even before you talk, you open your mouth, the first thing that people see is your look, right? The first thing that I notice is Colonel Sir's moustache. I'm noticing your beard. I'm noticing your summer hairstyle. I'm noticing Sridhar's scruffy, beard look. I'm noticing all these things, and that's just because that's my job anyway, but still. So coming from the grooming industry, I mean, we knew that the times are absolutely going to be difficult. We knew that. There was no doubt in mind that it is going to be fairly easy and we're just gonna, sail through this entire situation. We knew we won't be able to, it'll be difficult. And that got us thinking into, what are the mantras right now that I really need to follow, right? And the 3 things that really came to our mind was read, observe, and prepare. You have to read what is going around, and not just in India, globally what is happening. Okay? You have to observe because you can't predict the trends right now. You can't do that. What you can do is prepare yourself. So read, observe, prepare. That's what you need to do, and that's what we did for a couple of months when suddenly this entire unprecedented situation came upon us, right? And that brings us to, so another thing that we keep reading about is new normal. And that really got us thinking into what is new normal, because for that, you need to have a definition to actually decide what is this new normal going to do to us, where it is supposed to take us. Because nobody can say with utmost surety that, okay, this is what new normal means, because how can you? You do not know what this is. You still don't know what this is. But whatever this is, it's surely changing the way we are buying the products, the way we are consuming the products, the way we are evaluating what to buy. So the entire evaluation, consumption, purchase patterns, everything has gotten affected by whatever this new normal is. But you still don't know what this is. And it's going to take time. And that's why it's important to prepare for it. Keep your ear on the ground. Know that this is very, very difficult time. This is absolutely unprecedented. You don't really know what this means or what it is, but the environment is rapidly changing, and it is absolutely volatile right now. It's difficult to keep up, right? So watch the trends with Hawkeye. Keep your ears on the ground, observe things, and be ready for making any kind of change, because the situation is very, very difficult. I mean, there are a number of possibilities that things can happen, and you cannot predict anything right now because things are still evolving. You know, you're learning as you go, because none of us ever knew that, you know, a couple of months ago that a virus such as this will come about, which will completely change the way we talk to people, we meet people, we socialize, we work. Our life is going to completely, change. We didn't know that. So as a brand person, I for that matter have to start thinking that how does that affect my brand, my tone, my manners, my behavior? How does that change now because of these situation? Because as a brand, this is not the time to be crass or to be challenging the situation, or to be opportunistic, right? You have to stay real. You cannot be trivial or flaky. You have to know the situation is difficult, and as a brand, there are a lot of people who is actually looking up to you for calmness, for guidance, right? And you cannot run away from the kind of responsibility that you have being a responsible brand. You can't do that. So there was this very interesting article that I was reading by BBH. Now, BBH is this British global advertising agency called Bartle Boggle Haggerty. They did this entire study, which was an epidemiology study, and they suggested two very broad outcomes of the situation that we are in right now, which completely affects the economy, which affects us, my grooming industry also. The two things that they said was delayed recovery and prolonged contraction, which basically means that the situation that you are in right now has got a snowballing effect, which you will be seeing for months and years to come, right? It's prolonged and it is absolutely, you cannot define it right now. It's so volatile that you don't even know what that is, so you've got to be prepared, right? And both of these facts are extremely interesting because it has got a very far-reaching and snowballing effect on the entire economy, because once you restrict social contact, you restrict travel, that affects businesses, any business, massively. Okay. So this brings us now to the 5 things that as a brand, that what we are doing and the trends that we are seeing in the grooming industry. One, very important to know the role that you play in the life of your customer. Okay. Couple of months ago, if you thought about Maslow's hierarchy of what is a need and what is a want, you could have defined very differently. You would have defined it very differently. What does need mean to you and what does want mean to you? But now, during the lockdown situation, all the customers are redefining the entire Maslow's hierarchy very differently. Your needs are now absolutely different from what your wants are, right? And it becomes even more different when you look up different strata of society. The need and want during lockdown has gotten completely overhauled even more. And it's very interesting. The times are very interesting. And it becomes absolutely important for me as a grooming brand director to realize, okay, what is exactly the role that I'm playing during this time in the minds of my customer. Earlier, if he was buying me for X reason, now he's not buying you for that reason anymore. He's actually buying for something else, which I'll come upon later. The second thing, we have become a lot more patient in terms of listening to what our customers have to say. Because they are your brand evangelists. They will tell you where you're going wrong or where you're sounding opportunistic, because they're not scared or anything. while they will also guide you and give you a lot of knowledge, because they do have a lot of knowledge. So it's very important. It is absolutely important to listen to what your customers have to say. Third thing is to never take your position for granted. As a responsible brand, your role is not just to push products, right? No, it's not that. You need to push a certain kind of thinking, a certain kind of mindset. That is also extremely important. And the fourth point is to stay calm as a brand in this entire situation of dullness, of stillness, of apathy. In that sense, somebody needs to stay calm and positive, and that's what we need to stay as a brand. We need to do that. The last and the final thing is to keep it real, keep it authentic. Not the time about frills and fancies. It is not. You need to stay real and authentic and be as pragmatic about the situation as you can be, right? This is not the time for adventures. And you need to stay real, right? Obviously, we all know, as a grooming industry, I also know that I do not come into the essential category. But let's define what does really essential mean for the customers and not really what a document tells you. Okay, essential is that you want to feel good. Obviously, you want to averse risk. You want to minimize the cross contamination of human touch. There is a heightened sense of safety, of security, of hygiene, right? But at the same time, one cannot say that consumerism is a bad word. It is not, because that is what drives the economy, right? And as a grooming industry, what role that I am playing now that we have come to realize is actually making people feel happy, because when you're pampered, when you are happy, when you pamper yourself, the more amount of time you're spending at home, that much of amount of time you're spending actually on your well-being, on your personal care, on your grooming, on your fitness, because now when you're thinking of you, you're actually thinking of you, you're thinking of yourself, because you have a lot more time to do that, right? And so you're at least investing into yourself, and that's where the whole pamper, you're pampering yourself, and that is something, is the role that we are playing now, right? And there is a very interesting example of this. So in China, in Guangzhou, there is this French brand called Hermes. Okay, now Hermes, when it opened in April, on the first day when they opened it, they actually did a sale of $2.7 billion, which was the biggest sale in the luxury outlets ever in China. Okay, and this is very interesting, because one would think that in this kind of time, who's gonna go for an overindulgence, for a retail therapy, right? But it happened. Okay, and what it's called revenge spending. So revenge spending is basically a very interesting phenomena, which actually means that because you are in a situation like this, you're thinking so negative, even if you don't want to. You want to own certain things, so it makes you feel happy, right? You want to feel pampered, you want to feel nice about yourself, and that's what happened in China. I am not saying India and China can be absolute comparison of apple to apple, but then I will tell you that this month, in my brand, we did as good a business as we did the same time about 3 months ago. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that the need and want is absolutely different when it comes to any industry. So in grooming industry, we have learned that it doesn't matter what you're selling. It doesn't matter how you're selling it. What it matters is what that makes me feel. That is important. And currently what people want to feel, they want to feel happy. And that's the silver lining of at least my brand from the grooming perspective that I can tell you. So yeah, that's me. Over to you, Sheetal.
Thank you, Rumi. Very interesting perspective from essentials to grooming. We have moved like completely a paradigm shift. Now, the other industry that I'll be introducing now, which is something which we are all interested to know what's going to happen, is the automobile sector. So we have Mr. Sridhar Ramachandran here, Sridhar Ramachandran from KWH Merca. Let me give you a short introduction of Sridhar. Now, Sridhar has been my batchmate from Symbiosis. We did our MBA together, so I know him from approximately 10 plus years. So a short description of Sridhar. Sridhar has 11 plus years of experience working in the automotive ancillary industry, Petronas Lubricants, and KWH Mocha. He has been working with MNCs, setting up their businesses in India, and being involved in both cases during the time of inception. At Merca, he's one of the youngest employee in the organization and the youngest member of the management team. He is a part of the strategic think tank of Merca, which comprises of the MD, CFO, CMO as the other members. He, on his part, is an ICF certified coach, has completed more than 100 hours of coaching, and one of the key drivers for coaching as culture in Merca. Technically, this is a very short introduction to Sridhar, but Sridhar, before I pass on the mic to you, we are very much intrigued to know how automotive sector is going to handle Corona, and something which is going to impact a lot of jobs, uh, essential services, manpower services, a lot of labor. It's a very extraordinarily labor-intensive industry. So, Sridhar, can you shed light on this industry?
Uh, thank you, Sheetal, for a wonderful introduction, and it was great to hear from Kunwar Saab the essential services and their challenges, and then from a grooming perspective, which clearly decides that I mean, a clear indication that I need to start grooming myself better to with using the Man Company. Definitely something to add to your sales, Rumi. In terms of the automotive sector that I am from, it's an interesting, and I'll repeat myself. Before most of you joined, I was just explaining there is a very popular statement in my mother tongue, which is Malayalam, which says that what happens. Automotive industries in that state. Imagine a person who was bit by a snake is now struck by lightning. So he I mean, automotive didn't know. We are talking about automotive downslide maybe in the second half of 2019, and it continued for a long time. And then all were predicting that things will get back. And then initially when the outbreak was confined to China, there were discussions in February where we were talking about, okay, the Chinese manufacturing, the commodities that we supply which are competing, where we are competing with Chinese manufacturers, we would get an opportunity to sell more because China is shut and all that. And then suddenly, come March 22nd, there was a lockdown. Lockdown 1, 2, 3, 4, and there was an interesting statement forward somebody sent that today my company also did the same amount of sales that Maruti did, and that was 0 in the month of April. So that was funny, and it was surreal. It was something where you thought, oh my God, is this something I should be happy about? Yeah, the first sentence says good. You're talking, you're in the same line of discussion as MSIL, but then for the wrong reasons. So that was something which was very quick transition from an opportunity to something which is just no more an opportunity. Now we have to find different ways to make it an opportunity. So very common terminology that we use in our organization, it's called VUCA world. It's volatile, it's uncertain, it's ambiguous, it's not at all it's in a situation where you can't predict what is going to happen. So when in February we were looking at a very strong Q2 because we thought China is shut and that we could do a lot of things, and then suddenly you see that China started operations in April and we were shut, and the rest of the world was shut. Forget about China, just India. The rest of the world was shut. So it was a very difficult time. It was already a situation where due to a lot of bad decisions, I would say, because really the automotive industry, if you just browse through your automotive dealerships in your area, you will see that most of them also have simultaneous real estate investments or some other investments which apart from the automotive industry. Say you take a big chain, a big group which sells cars in your state. So it also had different investments. So what has happened was that there was a lot of money which was, though the automotive was doing pretty well. See, when you talk about degrowth in automotive, it doesn't mean degrowth. It is we are pegging ourselves from our past history, but it doesn't mean that we are actually going down the hill. It actually means that we are still continuing to sell. We are still the biggest market for anybody to come and set up. You're talking about brands like Citron. You're talking about Renault trying to do a lot of activities in electrification. Great Wall Motors, which is a Chinese setup, has now set up a manufacturing unit in India. So imagine that. So the MG Motors, Kia was doing crazy, and it was the only one which was like a shining armor for the last 6-7 months, and the price points were not something. It showed us that people are ready to buy. People were probably bored with the choice that they had. People were looking for something new. So there was a lot of things which were happening. The add-on to the automotive industry which was struggling was the implementation of BS4, BS6, and BS4 would have been stopped. I mean, registration for those vehicles would have stopped from 31st of March, which fortunately has been extended till the stock class. So which will be a little bit of boost, a temporary boost that the automotive industry will get. But that was something which was also affecting. So if I don't know if you remember, when BS3 to BS4 happened, there was a lot of discounts which were happening because it was not planned. There were stocks with most of the manufacturing companies, automotive manufacturing companies. So there was a lot of discounting that used to happen, and which would actually boost the automotive industry. Whereas in terms of BS6, and this is the irony, everything was so planned that you had the optimum stock, you had everything as per the demand, so you don't have to discount and sell and liquidate your stock. So automatically the pricing remained around the same level. So what happened? People were who were expecting, okay, BS6 aega, BS4 pe discount milega, and that didn't happen. Yes, there were a few OEMs which offered a little bit of discount in the month of December, but very, very limited. So that was one thing. Today, the interesting point about automotive industry is that automotive industry, like you said, is a very labor intensive. You walk into a body shop in Kerala, there would be people who would be talking Bengali, Odia, and Hindi. Same everywhere across the country. You walk around, you will see a lot of migrant laborers coming in. So that is something which is going to affect you. You have a lot of people. I'm based in Bangalore, and there are prominent dealerships in Bangalore who have their employees stuck in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and they are not able to come back to Karnataka, and a lot of them stuck in Bombay, Maharashtra, and so there will be a lot of labor scarcity that is going to happen. There will be people who would postpone. So I come from an industry, Mirka, just to give you an idea. Say for example, if you have a vehicle damage on the body of the vehicle, we provide consumables which will help you repair that. So we provide abrasives, sanding tools, fillers, and all that, which along with the paint will get your car looking as good as new. So that's what we provide. And so when you talk about body shop, uh, unless and until the body is severely damaged, people are expected to defer this repair till the time it's absolutely necessary. So there is a deferment that will happen. So there are a lot of things which are looming around the automotive industry. But let me tell you, there are also very, very positive news. There are new avenues, and I was telling earlier also, adaptability. Charles Darwin has been never true, more true in this current scenario, wherein only the smartest will survive. Okay, we are overtaking at this point of time. We are trying to overcome the COVID-19 virus, and when if we do that, we will survive. So the smartest will survive, whether you are the tallest or the heftiest or the strongest, it doesn't matter. Okay, there are people who have recovered even at the age of 101. So smartest will survive, and when smartest will survive, and that is the thing that we humans should be looking forward to, because there are a lot of new adapted a lot of them have adapted to new things. You know, we're talking about new avenues. You're talking about Asian Paints introducing sanitizer. Who thought? Who thought? We only thought that Ranbir Kapoor and Deepika Padukone talk about germs killing paints, and then suddenly they've bought in sanitizers. You talk about any company today which is doing sanitizer. Most of our channel partners, there are a lot of channel partners who have, from a social perspective also and a commercial perspective also, started manufacturing PPE kits. You imagine, yes, of the lot of information that our Prime Minister Modi shares in that talk, he also mentioned one thing, which when we started the COVID-19 situation, we didn't have a PPE manufacturing facility or a mask. We had a very few limited mask manufacturing facilities. Today we produce more than 83 million of that. So, you know, adaptability is fantastic. You talk about automotive services, they're talking about not cleaning cars. They're saying, okay, you look at, I'm sure most of you, and in fact, I remember in the previous session, one of the moderators speaking about how Hyundai dealership called her up and said, you know, how's the experience? Is the car running fine? And these are opportunities. And this is what automotive companies are doing. The other most important thing that automotive companies are doing is that now you will see the middlemen, the dealerships, getting so severely involved in marketing automation, or you talk about social media marketing. Today, if you look at the only way you can reach out, and I'm envying Rumi here, is that, you know, the only way you can reach out is social media. And when you have I'm sorry, my 1-year-old has just barged in and said hi to me. Anyway, so when you talk about this automotive sector, the there are a lot of things they are talking about. They're talking about Facebook promotions. They are talking about lead generation. You're doing a lot of automation, and I remember Sukanya saying last time that, you know, what is your digital transformer? The digital transformer for you and your company is not the CFO, CTO. It is the COVID-19, because everybody started using Google Meet and Teams and everything. You know, so when you have that, what is happening is that these people are also getting into that. I never used to check WhatsApp status messages. Today, I see a lot of marketing that happens on WhatsApp status messages. People are talking about how sanitizing your car is important, how doing a little bit of grooming work is important, how maintaining your car during this lockdown is important. So they are coming up with different ways. Maruti has started production, though in one single shift and a single factory in Manesar, but we all feel that it will come back, and because I remember Anand Mahindra once saying that, you know, don't get excited with Ola and Uber, because everybody thought, you know, Ola and Uber means, oh, we are selling cars to taxis, so it's good, it's an increasing sales number. But he very rightly pointed out at that point of time that Ola and Uber will kill automotive industry, because everybody would prefer an Ola and Uber because it's the chauffeur driven. Imagine in Bangalore, if people are familiar with Bangalore, imagine driving in Bangalore. It's a nightmare. Imagine then you have a chauffeur driven car which plays some entertainment for you and has Wi-Fi. What more do you want? So, you know, there was a big shift from automotive by purchase to using Uber Pool, Uber different, I mean, different methodologies. Now there will be a trend where people will be skeptical about getting into an Uber. They will be worried, who sat here before? You have no idea. And it's practically impossible to clean after every ride. It is practically impossible. And trust me, how many of you believe if the driver says, yeah sir, मैंने सब कुछ sanitize कर लिया, and वो करेगा क्या? He will just spray on the AC vent and he will say, yeah, I've sprayed it, so the smell is all around. But so the most important aspect is that there are a lot of hurdles. Yes, there are, but I as always, we will find something or the other to ensure that we survive. There might be some delays which will happen, but what Kia and MG Hector taught us is that people have money and people will buy cars. Only thing is that you have to give them something new. People are bored of the Desires and the Cretas and XYZ of the world, because they wanted something new. I'm not saying those are bad cars by any means. They are good cars, but then they want to look at something new. They want to look at something which is different. So that is what is, and it's always been the case. And one of the reasons why I always admire Honda is that if you look at Honda City as a brand, you will see that they realize that they can't just continue one car just the way it is and be the market leader. They're one of the market leaders in that particular segment, and primarily because every 3 years they have minor changes in their looks, and every 5 years they have drastic changes in look. So from the first City that you had, and to the City ZX, to the all new City, to the City VTEC City, and the latest City, it's all different. You can't put the same together and say these are the same cars. So they've brought in variety. So few things which everybody would be looking at is bringing in variety. Few things that could also impact the automotive industry negatively is that people might diversify. If the dealerships decide that, you know, this is not my cup of tea, I should look at something where I can make money, that would be one thing. But I would suggest, I feel with the MSME boost, that if you look at that the bailout package or whatever that the Ministry of Finance had shared with us, you see there is a lot of focus on MSME. It's another topic altogether, whether how much of it will get actually translated into a support to the actual needy person. But on the outset, it looks something which will be very, very focused and very, very good for the MSME sector. And that would mean that, you know, automotive sector, which as a middleman who are predominantly in the MSME category, have a lot of options to you know get over this hurdle and get to a good positive space. And I'm just hoping that, you know, Karnataka is back to normal, and we are seeing few of our customers who are back to their origin, I won't say original numbers, at least 85 numbers percentage. Yes, Bombay and Gujarat for that matter, it's also part of the territory that I handle, and that's pretty badly affected. So that's something which we are still have to wait and watch and see how this is going. Okay, so that's my bit about the automotive.
Thank you, Sridhar. Thanks a lot. Uh, Interesting perspective, as I said. Now, just trying to gel things together. There are a lot of questions which are flowing in, but I'll try to go back to Kunwar because there are a lot of questions which are coming from Kunwar. Kunwar, you must have heard what Sridhar spoke about the automobile industry and Rumi spoke about the branding. There's a lot of labor-intensive work which is happening in the automotive industry. Now, how do you think our industry, that is the private security industry, will be able to will we be able to like use this to an advantage, get more done in the time that we are facing? Is there something new, the new opportunities wherein private security can get into? Any diversification that we can do? What do you feel has already happened in the industry and what can happen? So you're muted. You're muted. You're muted. Yeah.
See, industry is going to become more smarter, more professional, because they are going through these bad times. They've never seen people behaving in a such awkward manner. They're now seen in a very insecure environment. People behave in a different manner altogether. फौज में कहते हैं कि जब तक आपने लड़ाई नहीं लड़ी होगी तो आप काहे के फौजी हैं? तो वो चीज जो अब हम देख रहे हैं वो सब में आ रही है, सब में आ रही। क्या नया चीज आपके बनेगा? मुझे तो चिंता रूमी की है। जो ग्रूमिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, यहाँ तो मुंह ढक के जाना पड़ेगा, तो कहाँ पाउडर क्रीम लगाऊंगा रूमी में? मेरी तो कल परसों मैं बाहर गया था, तो ये मुझे जो बोल रही है ना, ये मुझे ढकनी पड़ गई और मजा ही खराब हो गया बाहर जाने का। तो ऐसी सिचुएशन में जब पूरे चेहरे ढके जाएंगे और फिर आपका आउटलुक बदलने वाला है, तो ग्रूमिंग को तो अब आई डोंट नो। आई विल से इफ आई हैव टू go out, they said it's going to remain forever. For security, we are prepared. We may be wearing good uniform or much better uniform, becoming more professional to deal with such emergencies, there may be, psychological problem to people. They may behave in a society in a different manner altogether because of their own personal pressures. Now, there are other situations which I must tell all of you that there's going to be a huge unemployment. The huge unemployment, if it's not handled properly by the state governments, then these are going to cause various kind of social unrest. So when there is social unrest, each industry will have to evaluate that kind of threat to them. You must have a defensive strategies to deal with these kind of situation which you have not imagined. Even now, I've been telling people भी ऐसा कुछ होने वाला है. आपके इलाके के आसपास लोग जब अनएम्प्लॉयड हो जाएंगे, उनके पास नौकरियां नहीं होंगी, वो कहाँ जाएंगे काम करने के लिए? अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन और बढ़ती गई, I don't know how the things going to get controlled in a situation where you don't have a medicines to cure, or you don't have the, you really don't know what's going to happen in the future. But we as an industry, we have foreseen certain things. We carry out risk analysis. It's my job, I can think about another 20 years now, what has happened now. I can imagine what will happen. This is my futuristic appreciation of each sector. Now, automobile sector, I know what's going to happen in automobile sectors, So that kind of perception, that kind of appreciation, we as a security profession started our own exercise, business continuity plan. But business continuity plan is going to happen when you have people to work with you. If you don't have people to work with you, how will you work? How those people, those who say we have gone back, when they will come back, how they be going to behave? It is a huge challenge, ladies and gentlemen. It is a thing which you must keep in mind, the revival of your lifestyle. Wonderful, we're sitting here, and I don't know, whether I, as a man, at the age of 72, will ever be permitted to go out or not. They say you can't go out. आप तो घर ही रहना पड़ेगा. तो और आगे जाके क्या क्या रिस्ट्रिक्शन बनेगी, इस बीमारी का क्या हल होगा, अभी किसी को पता नहीं है. लेकिन मैं, क्योंकि देश की हम चौकीदार हैं, आपकी प्रोटेक्शन करने वाले हैं, हम आपके प्रोटेक्शन की पूरी प्लान्स बना रहे हैं. तो इसलिए अगर वर्कर आप पास आते हैं, आपकी फैक्ट्री चलेंगी, आपको फायदा होगा. अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम पड़ती उसके लिए, तो बिजनेस कंटिन्यूटी प्लान जो है, जो पहले कभी कंपनियां बनाती थी लेकिन उन्होंने कभी इसको टेस्टिंग नहीं किया था, अब जो टेस्टिंग करने की बात है, वी कैन प्रिपेयर डिफेंस स्ट्रेटजीज फॉर यू. भी ऐसी सिचुएशन में हम आपकी क्या मदद कर सकते हैं? लाइक वी से वी हैव ए ओवर आर्चिंग रोल एज ए सिक्योरिटी. तो जान है तो जहान है. तो हमें तो ये जो नया लेसन मिलेगा आप सब लोगों को अपने आप को सिक्योर करने का, यू हैव टू ग्रूम पीपल टू बी बेटर सिक्योर्ड. You must have a different mindset to be a secured person, to live in society and help each other, live in the condition you never thought you would live in, whether you need a car or not need a car, what will happen. So this is up to the people, those who can understand, and I'm willing to answer any particular question you have, please.
Perfect, sir. Perfect. There are array of questions for all the panelists, so I'll just shift one by one. So next question I have targeted to Rumi. Rumi, there's this question which has just come to us. Pricing. Now the social distancing, this COVID corona lockdown, how has this impacted the pricing of your products? Is there a way that you're able to reach out to people? Have you been able to share discounts, or have you priced your products more competitively? Has this impacted your production and manufacturing product lines? That's sort of the question has come.
Okay, so let me take it one by one. So the first thing is that the beauty of being in a startup is that, and being in a digitally native startup, let me say that, is that you are not really dependent on standalone stores or people actually coming and visiting you at the store, or a very, very labor intensive factory. You're not, because my role, my brand is online, it's digital, right? So that does not get affected, because that way my industry is absolutely different when it comes to automotive, because this social media marketing, lead generations, Facebook marketing, Google marketing, all this is inherent to my business. That's how we were launched, right, from day one. So there was no let's evolve into this or let's learn something new. That was never there because I was always a digitally native brand. And my entire lead generation, my, acquiring new customers was anyway happening online. I was anyway doing it on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, or Google, or Facebook, or affiliate marketing. All of this, the world was online, it still is. My customer was online, still is. My customer was still buying me online, still is. Whether it's from my website or from my marketplace. So that does not get affected at all, right? The thing that does get affected is like I said, when I was saying earlier that you have to realize that the role that you play and hence become a little bit more cognizant of the fact that the role has evolved. Now, I remember what Sridhar was saying about sanitizers. We have actually launched sanitizers a month ago. Being a grooming brand, we thought, let's diversify, because as a startup, you have to stay agile and you have the flexibility of staying agile, and your manufacturing unit is not just yours, right? That manufacturing unit is also manufacturing a lot of other things. And mostly all the other aspects which a bigger company or a bigger category like automobile or telecommunications or all of that will actually hire other agencies to do. In a startup, everything is in-house. Everything is under my roof, so everything is controlled. You're not dependent on a lot of external factors which will affect your business. It doesn't happen. You are a digitally native brand. Your brand is, your customer is, everybody is on digital, so it doesn't get affected. What does get affected is what they are expecting of you now. So if they may not be just expecting just grooming products, so that means you got to diversify. So we have gotten into sanitizing products. We are soon going to launch a whole new range of all kinds of sanitizers for all different kind of soft surfaces and hard surfaces, right? And because that's what the need of the moment, the need of this moment is. As long as pricing goes, I would again go back to what I told you earlier. If the business is already after a lump of say a month, I'm back to where I was 5 months ago. So that means the problem is not with the disposable income of people. It's not. It's about what they want to buy, what does that product make them feel. So if Kalko, I have the money and security is important, I will go and buy that new car because it makes me feel safe and it will be chauffeur driven so that I don't have to take any other cab sharing facility. I won't do that because that's about my safety. I have the money, I will spend it here. Same goes with grooming also. And I know you can't step out. I know you can't meet people face to face. You can't go to the mall and all of that, but you still got to do this, what you're doing. You still cannot, look as if you just got off of your bed. You can't do that. You have to be presentable. So that means you need to do something about this, and that never changes. Because you are still a social animal. You'll keep doing those video calls with your friends. You'll keep doing webinars with the professional community. That will never change. And that means you will keep doing things to make you feel good, look good, so you look presentable. So that never goes out of the window. And when it comes to personal grooming, you will not ever think, oh, let's go with a cheaper product. You won't do that ever, because your skin is important to you, your body, your hair is important to you. It's once gone, it's not going to come back. Why will you go for a cheaper product which is going to save you money but is going to destroy you? You're not going to take that kind of risk. You don't take kind of risk, right? It's not like chocolate. Acha, ye wala kha liya, acha nahi laga, chalo theek hai, kuch aur kha lete hain. No, it's not that. If that shampoo or that soap or that body wash ruins your beard or your hair or your skin, it's gone. Tata, bye bye, ho gaya wo wapas nahi aayega. So why will you ever compromise? So I don't see that as a problem, but I do feel that there are some advantages. But yes, grooming industry is absolutely on a rise. Okay, the prediction is that it's going to be about $5.5 billion by 2021, while it was last year it was 2.6, right? So it's more than double. So disposable income is not the problem. The intent is not the problem. Is it slow? Yes. But I mean, there are no much red flags, especially for the ones who are absolutely digitally native. Don't see a problem.
Thank you, Rumi. I mean, I second your point. This look is premium five-blade razor by the Man Company. This is sponsored by that. So yeah, moving on to Sridhar. Now, this is this question, Sridhar, that floated across. Now, you spoke a lot about diversification, and Kunwar Sahab spoke a lot about diversification. Now, how has diversification impacted your industry, your company? Have you diversified also? You gave Asian Paints ka example. What have you done? Have you done something?
Yeah, see, the need of the hour is survival. Okay, when a grooming company can launch a sanitizer, I think if you look at if you Google search my company, just to give you a warning, a statutory warning, the first time you Google search Mirka, you will see Federer's wife, then you will see Mirka India, which is the company. So don't get confused. I don't work for Federer's wife. But anyways, jokes apart, actually, the diversification is a big step, or a big saving point for a lot of us. Okay, we need to find the one other thing is, this is diversification. घी अगर सीधी उंगली से नहीं निकला तो टेढ़ा उंगली, I mean, pardon my Hindi, it's not that great, but yeah, so you all talk about this, right? So that's diversification. You were attacking one market with a straight finger, and now you're attacking another market with a टेढ़ा finger. So simple adaptability is something which will be the main scheme of things, definitely. What we have done, if you look at our company, so we provide sand. So wherever there is painting requirement, we have products for that. So whether it is your car, from your electronic, the devices that you're looking at, most probably would have been sanded by an abrasive, and few of the iPhone brands were using Mirka products to sand their surfaces. You have laptop screens, you have electronic items, you have wall. I mean, pardon my painting. This is not the painting that I'm talking about, but then generally, if you want to get your house painted, you need to use sandpaper. So when you we were present in these sectors, the focus on these sectors have gone up, definitely. ART was our bread and butter, or in management terminology that you talk about, the cash cow and the star for a long time. Now it's become, it's not the star anymore. There are a lot of other stars. The construction and decoration segment is a star. You're talking about automotive industry is a star. Now things, supplies from China are still limited. So when that's the case, there are opportunities for us to go there. Real estate. So one of the things which I have been going through and I've been hearing in all the webinars, economic webinars, is that, what the government will do is put money in your hand so that you start rotating, that money starts rotating and revives the economy. And one of the most tried and tested ways to do that is to lower, and they've already lowered the housing loan, because when you lower housing loans, you put that money in real estate. When you put that money in real estate, people who are employed in real estate, which starts from your basic mistri to your carpenter to everybody, gets some sort of a cash flow, which also means that that cash flow is remaining in India. One of the other problems, if you do put money in any other industry, what happens is that it could also go to a different, it will also go out of India. So that doesn't do good for Indian economy. So real estate is something which is going up in terms of houses and housing loans and other things. So there is a definite probability that we will see. What will happen is that there will be, I saw your post on LinkedIn today with the huge inventory that real estate companies are, if I'm not mistaken, about 5 lakh completed apartments available. Units. Yeah. So what we are predicting, and what we have been talking to a lot of them, is that we are realizing that few of them are going to liquidate that, not the entire thing, but then liquidate a few to get the money rolling, so that the cash flow is back. The biggest thing that is affected in this 3 months is cash flow. People have not paid, people have not got money. So that's the basic cash flow. You give and you take. So that's completely stopped. So that is where the focus is. Diversification also means product lines. We are also contemplating about a lot of product lines. We are a Finnish company which has been, I mean, we are the only company in this industry which has got ISO 14000, 9001 and OHSAS, which is Occupational Health and Safety Standard, where when you use our product, or when you manufacture our product, your health and safety is also taken into consideration. So we are the only ones who talk about dust-free sanding. So sandpaper is basically what you use, redmal. So you talk about, when you think about sandpaper, you see the dust flying out. So we are the ones who talk about dust-free sanding. So we were already there in the HSC segment, but now we are thinking of new products like masks and gloves and goggles, PPE related, personal protection equipment related. Also talking about sanitizers, because a lot of these cars which come to service, they are talking about sanitizing the car because you don't know who's touching. Today, coincidentally, I've been last 2 days I've been shifting my house. During it's Bangalore, it's all open, so we are all safe. But then still, when those people who were shifting, who were entering, they had to sanitize their hand. Their temperatures were taken. I don't think so. The biggest gainer of this COVID would be the infrared thermo reader. I said everybody has it today. So so there are diversifications. So we are also looking at that. We are definitely looking at certain things which are related to the automotive or related to the labor-intensive things, industry. So like sanitizers, personal equipment, protection equipments. These are few things, and we are also looking at new industries. So that's one of the most important aspect that we have. So yeah. So diversification both in terms of products, also in terms of markets.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now we are open for questions. We have a question by Mr. Nishan Joseph for Kunwar Vikram Singh sir. Nishan from US asks, there will be a shift from manpower centric to technology centric mentality, a boost to the likes of camera and sensor industry. This applies to security forces too. Do you think, Kunwar sir, this is a valid statement? Do you think technology will be complementing or will it disrupt the industry?
No, it is basically complementary totally, and there's a aid for man-tech situation in private security industry. We will definitely need better technology also, and in the time to come, technology plus manpower. You need a man behind the machine. Absolutely, you can't have that kind of environment in a country like this that you can leave everything to the CCTV. Now, this is what is going to happen. More technology, more better system to operate, better system to take care of your internal things also. Internal intelligence will become more relevant again. Intelligence gathering become more relevant. But one thing is there that this man-tech age was already there in India, and lots of systems are being used, technology is being used. But the merger of the technology with the private security industry, that is going to gain a lot.
Great, 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 great. So now this is a question which is open to all the three panelists. What do you foresee your growth in the upcoming quarter? You see the growth being on the upward trend, or you see that this will be middle? So all three panelists, this question is for you. How do you perceive the growth, your industry growth would be in the upcoming quarter? Anyone can pick it up.
Yeah, I'll go because I'm the most troubled one. So so yes, things are going to pick up definitely, and you know me from a long time, and you know that I'm very positive when it comes to these things, because this is the last time you can be negative. So sitting at home and thinking only negative things would only get you somewhere. So the most important aspect here is that there will be focus. I was talking. There would be a big focus on two-wheelers. There will be a big focus on small cars. You're talking about the entry level cars of Hyundai and Maruti will have a big, and if I'm correct, I'm not sure, but then the production lines of Maruti are looking at the entry level cars. So the reason being that that would be something which people are ready to buy. And like Rumi said, necessity. I don't want to risk. If I'm the only breadwinner, yes, it might be a stretch to buy a car, but if I'm the only breadwinner, I don't want to risk myself and by getting this pandemic or losing my job because I have been inactive for 14 days or 15 days or something like that. So it is going to be critical, and these are critical things which will push a lot of sales. Diversification, when you talked about earlier, two-wheeler industry is something which we never cater to. That's something which we are focusing, and Ahmedabad is one of the areas where we are focusing that particular business also. So that's something which is going. So I'll say it will be slow, definitely slow, But I would say by when we exit 2020, irrespective of what, because everybody wants to ask anybody, does he want to go out of business? No, he wants to be in business. So if he wants to be in business, he has to do something. So everybody's itching to go out. As a sales guy, I've been itching to go out so much and talk to people that this is another alternative for that, but meeting people in person. So, people will get out, people will start traveling, there will be business, there will be a progress, and 2021 would be something where we are flying flat now, zero sales in last 2 months. So we're going to just go up from here now. And mostly by in middle of 2021, we should be back to where we were predicting to be in 2020, is what I feel. It's a very high level, a very positive outlook, but then yeah, definitely possible.
That's your perspective. So in automotive sector, that's an interesting thing. What about you, Rumi? What do you feel? You feel that you will do much better than your earlier sectors, or you think that you will do completely different? What do you think your growth will be in the upcoming quarter?
Let me first start with an example, okay? Without taking any name, now this retail chain, owing to the current situation, what they decided that we should let go of all the trial rooms. Okay? They are going to close down all the trial rooms in this entire retail space that they have. Okay. Now that is very interesting. Have you ever imagined walking into a mall to buy clothes and there is no trial room over there, right? Now those are the kind of hard decisions that any industry will have to take. And the same goes with grooming also. The reason why we got into hygiene products is because you have to understand the pulse of the situation. That's the only way to grow. You cannot be stuck with old ways, whether that means taking more help with technology or getting more digital or lead generation through digital marketing, whether it means diversifying into different product portfolio which makes sense as an extension to what you were actually doing. So suddenly from selling beard oil, I can't start selling cars. Okay, that can't happen. But whatever extension that does make sense, you have to do that. Because things are now different. It has evolved. You cannot be stuck with your old ways. You have to learn about the new technologies, learn from what's happening across the globe, imbibe that new culture and evolve. That's the only way. From the grooming industry point of view, most of the competition that I see, most of the other players that I see, they all are diversifying into the products that make sense as an extension, because it is important, you have to do that. They all are getting more and more digital because it is the need of the hour to do that, right? Because brick and mortar, I'm not saying they're going to extinct or anything, no way. But people will be more cautious in going out, right? Going out used to be a luxury situation, right? It used to be fun, friends gather, let's go to the mall. That's not going to happen anymore. You are going to restrict yourself as much as possible, but you still need to buy the products. Where do you go? You go online. You go digital. That's what you do because you don't want to step out of the home as much as possible. You don't want to, and even if you want to, you will take all the precautions that is absolutely possible. Right? So I think anybody and everybody who is, is okay with evolution will be fine. Who is ready to imbibe the new ways and not really challenge them will be fine.
Fair. Perfect. Kunwar sir, what do you perceive the growth would be for the security industry? You see the numbers going up?
The numbers will definitely go up. There's no doubt about it, because the sense of insecurity will grow a lot. And secondly, the security industry, they added facility management. That was one area where the private security got into the additional services of your facility management. Now, most of the companies are also entering into the sanitation business. Now, this is the one growth area I see in private security companies. They're getting into the sanitation business, which they have already started. And some of the companies with a good brand name can also start manufacturing, various kind of items because of their credibility. The credibility of the product. Says, if I start manufacturing, Capsi mask, say this is the best mark by a security organization, maybe people will say, oh, whoa, Pepsi brand of mask is a very good, and there's no chance of counterfeit and all that. There's a counterfeit product going on so much. I'm into same business, finding counterfeits. There's a huge counterfeit market. Sanitation, I don't like to touch, you don't know what you're using at the moment. There's no quality control, absolutely. In a situation like this, my concern is for the safety and security of every person who's listening and those who are going to work, and make sure things in a such a manner. Growth is one area where अगर कहते हैं कि जान है तो जहान है, पहले आप लोग सुरक्षित रहो, ठीक रहोगे, जिंदगी आपकी सही बची रहेगी, इस मुसीबत से पार हो जाओगे, तो उसके लिए आप तैयार रहिए, अपने आप को सिक्योर करने की आदत डालिए. जो आप अपने एसओपी बनाओगे अपनी जिंदगी को ठीक करने के लिए, आप सेफ एंड सिक्योर रहोगे तो आपकी जिंदगी आगे बढ़ेगी, आपकी ग्रोथ आ जाएगी. तो सेफ सिक्योर करना हमारा काम है. And I assure you that every CAPSI member who's running a company will provide you the best of the security services to make sure that you progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. The floor is open for questions. If at all anyone wants to talk, the panelists want to discuss about something, you're internally open to ask any questions.
One thing I'd like to add, myself, Dev Prakash Singh from Bihar. The one very glaring achievement of security sector, which my chairman has also conspicuously left to explain or add it, that he has taken a very revolutionary step when the COVID-19 lockdown has been declared on, I think, 25th of March. He has agitated all the state presidents and himself also that to make the security services under essential services. And he succeeded by continuously lobbying with the Ministry of Home Affairs. He succeeded, and by that action, that very action, just 3 days before, I was having a meeting with additional Chief Secretary Labor in Bihar, along with the Labor Commissioner and the Development Commissioner of Bihar. Among the 22 lakhs migrant laborers who came back to Bihar, only 100 security guards are back. Wow. That means all security guards are working in their respective states, and the Kunwar Vikram Singh has taken the lead by saying all the agency owners that please keep the hunger away from the guards, even they are downsized or they are not getting the jobs. And you will be pleased to know, it is very, very appalling to know that the security guards are least affected. Security agencies are least affected by this lockdown. So the topic acclimatizing resilience to evolve has really, we have already evolved. We have, and Kunwar Vikram Singh has done a wonder in this sector.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for the point. I myself am a CAPSI member, so I can vouch for the fact that initially हम लोग essential services में नहीं डालते थे. Due to the really, really good work by our chairman, we have been able to be categorized in the essential services. A lot of work which was done by him, a lot of good work of rallying, lobbying, ensuring that our voices are heard by the government. So kudos to you, sir. Really, really grateful that we have been able to do this. Panelists, any questions? Mr. Sridhar?
Yeah, just I see a question on the chat, and then that's a very important aspect. I'm sorry, Suren Mehtaji had asked, what are the skills? Because there is a lot of talk, and there is a lot of talk in most of our groups also when you talk about shift from China. People are saying anti-China. Chinese virus, as how Trump says it these days. There is an anti-China sentiment, and there is a probability that a lot of companies will come to India. I think the skills is more to be open in terms of understanding how things work. It's very, very important to liaison and network. Networking is the biggest skill that you need today. And networking through effective means of social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, anything, you need to network today to be in a position to first know who's coming. Second, help them to set up something here, because it is still not, we are going leaps and bounds when it comes to ease of doing business, but it's still far away from being the best and the easiest to do business. But we are getting there. So getting that knowledge, that's very important. Probably trying to probably the ability to work in it's very when you talk about teamwork, you say not to work in silos. Sometimes today's situation, we end up working in silos because you are in that silo of your room. Okay, so probably that capability of efficiently doing, keeping your focus, that's few of the things which I come to my mind, and effectively enabling the team. It's the most important thing. I cannot sit here and think of doing fantastic job because I cannot travel to say for example a Baroda. I need to motivate my team there in that location so that he starts delivering or thinking in the way that the company goes. So teamwork, motivational, as a leader is very, very important. So these are the few things which I thought uh, should be the skills somebody should have. And that was a very nice question that I saw. So that's why I thought I should just pitch in and say.
Right. Thank you. I'd like to just bring this interesting discussion to an end. Thanks to all the panelists. A very heartfelt thanks to Kunwar Vikram Singh to be making time out of his busy schedule and being present here today. Thanks to Rumi, your interesting points and the hand that Man Company has in grooming me. It will not go unnoticed. Thanks to Sridhar for sparing time and talking a lot about the most interesting industry. We are all interested to know what's going to happen, that is automotive sector. Thank you all three of you to illuminate this session with all of your expert opinions. I shall now pass on this to Major Mayank Mathur, who shall give the closing remarks for the day. Major Saab.
Thanks, Dr. Sheetal. Thanks for this effort and thanks for wonderful set of questions. My personal thanks and appreciation to Kunwar Saab for bringing us such eminent points. Rumi ma'am, yes, the personal grooming, I completely agree with you. You know, the feel-good factor will remain with us. It is important and it shall remain. Yes, we may cover our faces with the masks. We may not go out of the house, but the feel-good factor, the personal factor will always remain supreme. Kunwar Saab, I am not associated with the industry which you mentioned, but then I know where I come from, being in the uniform. A sizable amount of people definitely are part of your network, are definitely part of the good work you're doing for them in the industry. And as you rightly said, the numbers you mentioned is a whopping numbers. You know, anytime more than any of the forces. And definitely, Mr. Sridhar, the pertinent points you mentioned are worth noticing because you know, we have started talking now, no flights, no trains, no buses, let's drive down. So I would like to add the roads also have to support in the times to come, and the vehicular traffic is likely to be increasing. So thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, the lone lady who was with us on the panel. Very insightful and amazing. So thanks, Dr. Sheetal. Thanks for bringing it together. It is a voluminous effort you've done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. I'd like to thank ISTD Chapter Vadodara and Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad for allowing and giving us this platform. The closing remarks from the ISTD chairman, and then we call it a night. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Wonderful knowledge sharing. And as far as the quantity of security person is concerned, we were never imagining that there will be 9 million people. A very huge quantity, if I say the quantity. But otherwise, layman impression may not be to that extent. This was really informative session, and we also learned quite a good thing. It was very participative also, and I think Mr. Kode was to join in the last minute, but somehow he's not in a position to connect. Kode is here.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as I said, using the bridge of Mr. Kode and Mr. Sheetal, I request IIM alumni to come and cross over the bridge and be a part of ISTD also and strengthen ISTD. It is really required at this point of time. And bright minds from IIM Ahmedabad is also very well required with the ISTD chapter. With these few words, I thank one and all those who have made this program a successful program. Thank you, Sheetal. Thank you, panelists, and thank you, Mayank as well. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy your Saturday. Thanks. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.